What if I told you the largest metal mine on Earth is not on land, but hidden beneath the oceans, a place where no country truly owns it, no law truly protects it, and no one hears it being destroyed, the metals inside your phone, the batteries in electric cars, and the so-called clean future of humanity, all come from a place darker, deeper, and more fragile than you imagined. So ask yourself, is this really progress? Before watching the video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Activate the bell. Support us by liking. On planet Earth, you can find many things that we all know. There are countless mines, and we can't name all of them because there simply isn't enough time. All kinds of metals, semi-metals, mineral elements, oil, gas, and many other things are extracted from deep inside the earth. On land, that's obvious. But humans also went looking for these valuable resources in the oceans, and for centuries, they've known that the bottoms of seas and oceans are full of different minerals, but it wasn't worth it, for example, to go down 1,000 meters just to extract gold. It didn't make economic sense. So until now, they only extracted resources from shallow waters. The deep ocean floor has remained almost untouched. This is the Clarion, Clipperton Zone, in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. The water depth in this region ranges from 4,000 to 5,500 meters. That means it's extremely deep. In the 1870s, when the British Empire was the world superpower, a ship was built called HMS Challenger. It was given a clear mission to map all the waters of planet Earth. Yes, every single place. If they found even a tiny island, it had to be recorded on the map. HMS Challenger began its journey. For years, it traveled across the world's oceans. You might not believe it, but it mapped the Earth almost like a satellite. There were no satellites back then, yet they still created detailed maps of the planet. After several years, when the ship reached this region, Clarion and Clipperton, they noticed something strange. Black objects, about the size of apples, floating on the water's surface. The ship's captain immediately realized something was unusual. He ordered the ship to stop, and told the crew to bring a few of those objects aboard. They had searched the seas for years. They had never seen anything like this before. Especially not in a place so far from human life. That's why it caught their attention. They brought the objects onto the ship. When they examined them, they discovered they were mineral stones. With further study, they realized these were rocks rich in nickel, manganese, and other metals. They contained air pockets, which is why they were floating. Clearly, there had to be something mineral-rich in the ocean floor below. But this was the year 1870. The depth there was about 4,500 meters. There was absolutely no way to go down there. So they simply recorded the location, mapped it, and moved on. That survey and the coordinates of this region were officially recorded in the history of ocean mapping. Time passed that we arrive at the year 1958, when international maritime laws were approved by the United Nations. According to these laws, up to 20 kilometers from a country's coastline is considered its territory. Beyond that, up to 370 kilometers from the coast is still under that country's control. This means the country can fish there, extract minerals, drill for oil, or conduct other activities. No country has the right to enter another country's 370-kilometer maritime zone and interfere. But in smaller bodies of water, the rules become more complicated. For example, in the Persian Gulf, a 370-kilometer zone is not practical. So the middle of the seas considered international waters. One side belongs to Iran, the other to the Arab states of the Gulf. Now let's return to the ocean. Beyond 370 kilometers from any coastline, we reach the high seas, international waters. They belong to no single country. They belong to the whole world. According to UN law, no country has the right to claim ownership over them. But here's the reality. These laws were passed by the superpowers themselves, and they benefit only the superpowers, because they are the ones who can easily control international waters and access the minerals on the ocean floor. That's why the concept of international waters exists the way it does. You should know that 71% of Earth is covered by water, and even more interesting, 72% of those waters are international waters, legally owned by no one. Yet in practice, we know how it really works. The Clarion, Clipperton Zone, discovered in 1870, is part of these international waters. No one can claim, "This place is mine." As we enter the 21st century, it becomes clear who this area really belongs to. Whoever has the technology to reach the ocean floor and extract its resources. Nigeria and Eritrea can't do that. The one who can is the one who goes. Since the 1970s, powerful countries have been sending experts to this region to figure out the best way to extract those minerals. Most experts, back then, came back saying, it's not worth it. For example, gold sells for about $100 per gram, but extracting 1 gram costs around $500. So it doesn't make sense. Almost every expert from every country said the same thing. That's why there were no investors. They said, why invest here? It's not profitable. But once we entered the 21st century, advanced technology started needing rare and critical metals, and suddenly, this region caught investors' attention. In 1982, another important law was passed by the United Nations. According to it, any country that extracts resources from international waters must share part of the profits with all of humanity, not just one company, not just one country. The environment must not be damaged, the water must not be polluted, marine life must not be harmed. Beautiful slogans. Let's hope companies actually follow them. Any company that wants to mine international waters must apply through its country to the United Nations. It must prove it has the technology, and specify what it plans to extract. Once approved, an area of 75,000 square kilometers is allocated to that company. according to UN rules, an adjacent 75,000 square kilometer areas then allocated to a developing country, even if that country had nothing to do with it. Usually, the advanced company negotiates with that developing country, partners with it, and effectively doubles its area. For example, China negotiates with a developing country like Ethiopia, signs a contract, and doubles its mining zone. Later, when profits start coming in, a small portion goes to Ethiopia. No wonder the poet said, "Become strong, if you seek comfort in the world, for in the order of nature, the weak are trampled." The first company to receive a mining license signed the Clarion, Clipperton Zone was a Canadian company called the Metals Company. They entered the region in 2012. They saw the potential and realized it had a future. So they signed a contract with Nauru, a developing country, and doubled their area to 150,000 square kilometers. The company's executives soon noticed a loophole in UN law. There was no limit in how many developing countries they could bring in. So they added more, Kiribati and Tonga, now Nauru. Kiribati and Tonga were all partners, and the metals company's area expanded to 300,000 square kilometers. Once Canada secured this massive area, other countries followed: Russia, South Korea, the UK, Germany, China, Belgium, France, Japan. Almost all advanced nations rushed in so they wouldn't fall behind. The only powerful country that did not enter was the United States, despite being the closest country to the region. So how do these companies extract minerals from depths of 5,000 meters? They use massive underwater vacuum machines. They drag them across the ocean floor, sucking everything up. On the ship, a processing line separates what they want from what they don't. What they don't want is dumped back into the sea. If you've seen videos about cobalt mining, you know it not only creates slavery, but destroys the environment too. These deep-sea mining companies claim they follow UN environmental laws, but experts say mining the ocean floor is no different from cobalt mines in Congo. They strip the land bare and leave pollution behind. And the animals there are the real victims. Environmental experts strongly protested. They asked, how could you allow such powerful vacuum machines to operate on the ocean floor? Because it's not just sand and rocks down there. It's full of life, sponges, shellfish, mollusks, and unique creatures that can survive at depths of 5,000 meters. Their entire habitat is the ocean floor. These machines are destroying all of it. They stir up sediment so intensely that for kilometers nothing can be seen in the water. Everything becomes cloudy, like mud. Yes, at 5,000 meters deep, there is no light. It's completely dark, but the creatures there can still see. When the water turns muddy, their lives become completely paralyzed. The Clarion, Clipperton story made some countries feel concerned. They demanded that deep-sea mining be made completely illegal. 21 countries said, with today's technology, we cannot extract resources from the ocean floor without damaging the environment. The ironic part, one of those countries was Canada. the same country that sent the first mining ship to the region, that if they truly cared, they wouldn't have allowed it in the first place. That's why many people say these are all empty slogans. Sometimes protests happen, and the companies respond by saying, yes, we must mine the ocean floor to protect Earth's future, so we can build clean technologies, electric cars, solar panels, and things like that. In simple terms, pollute the oceans, so maybe the land can stay clean. Is not really about metals. It's not about gold, or nickel, or cobalt. It's about power, about who decides what belongs to everyone, and who actually takes it. International waters sound fair, they sound equal, but in reality, they belong to those who have technology, money, and control. The deep ocean floor was once unreachable, so it was called untouched. Not because it was protected, but because we were weak. Now that we are strong enough to reach it, we call it a resource. And we repeat the same old story. First, we extract, then, we justify, and finally, we clean our conscience with slogans that we say it's for humanity, for the future, for clean energy, but the pattern never changes. The weak places pay the price, the silent ecosystems are erased, and the profits rise to the surface. The ocean has no voice, no borders, no army. That's why it's easy to mine. Easy to destroy, easy to forget, and maybe one day, when the ocean floor is empty and lifeless, we will finally ask, was it really worth it? Or did we just move our pollution from land to a place no one could see?